Hey chat, welcome back to my channel. This week's video is another makeup related video, but before I get into it I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I know my background is kind of crazy and all over the place, but this is a really good window to film in front of, and those are like beds that we have to find a place for. That's like my sister's locker. There's boxes everywhere, so there's mess everywhere, and this is gonna hopefully look a little bit cuter over time, but for now it's what it's gonna have to look like. But I'll find a solution for that. But at least I have like somewhat decent lighting, so that's a good bonus. But yeah, this week's video, like I said, is gonna be a makeup related video. Pretty much I'm gonna be combining two videos into one. I'm gonna be showing you guys what's in my everyday makeup bag and kind of show you guys the things that I like to have on hand for an everyday basis that I kind of use more often, I suppose. I don't actually wear makeup every single day, but when I do, these are the products I wear. And then with that, I'm also going to be showing you guys my everyday makeup routine. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I put my face together today, I guess, and showing you guys how I use those products in action. Obviously, I won't be showing you guys all of the products because like I don't use 5 highlighters on my face, and I have a couple duplicates of things. But I just also want to quickly say, I'm not a makeup expert in any way, shape, or form. I just do things the way I think it looks good and the way I think things work out well. Also, I change up my makeup look every single day. I never do the same eyeshadow. I never wear the same lipstick. I do often wear the same blushes just because I own only a couple of blushes, but especially for my eyeshadow, there'll be sometimes when I'm like do the same look 2 or 3 days in a row, but most of the time I'm trying to experiment with doing new eyeshadow looks and all that kind of stuff. But this is just one that I felt like doing today, so this is not what my lips and my eyes will look like every single day. But yeah, I've been talking for like 2 minutes straight, so I'm going to show you guys all of the products first really quickly. The palettes, the products, and the brushes that I have on my in my little everyday makeup basket, and then I'll show you guys my everyday makeup routine. So let's just get into this. So what I actually did today is I decided to put all my makeup products in this little basket, because first I had a tiny little makeup bag where my makeup products were popped into. I have the little pot which is still in here with my makeup brushes, and then I had my palettes on the side, so I had 3 different piles. But then I saw this little basket that I had. I'm like, why don't I just put it all in here and I can walk around with it, do it in my bathroom, do it on my bed, do it at my desk, and it's all in here. So this is a new addition to the little makeup family, but I thought I'd show it to you guys anyways. So it's just this little white basket, and I have everything in here, and it's actually reasonably heavy. So I'm just going to start off with the palettes that I have, because I do have 4 palettes in here. Like I said, I do try and change up my eyeshadow look every single day, and so I have quite a few different eyeshadow options with me. And I do sometimes switch this around. Like if I have a new palette like this one here, I'll put it in my everyday collection and that kind of stuff. Or if I have a palette like this one here that I'm trying to play around with, or if I want to create looks for maybe a video or that kind of stuff, then they'll end up here as well. So a lot of these products are my favorites and my kind of obviously everyday products, but some of them are also things that I've just recently purchased and I'm still trying out, or any of that kind of stuff. But to start out with, this is one of my favorite makeup products ever. It's my favorite brand, Tarte Cosmetics, and it's the Tarteist Pro palette. First of all, the packaging of this is phenomenal. I'm not going to try to talk too much about each of these products, but pretty much it has 16 matte shades and 4 duochrome shades, and the reason I love this palette so much is just because I feel really comfortable with the shades. I feel like the pigmentation is really good. It's not too highly pigmented, but you still have some pigmentation. And I don't know, the shades in here I feel really comfortable with. And you have some really basic nudes, you have some more fun colors to play with, you have some fun duochromes, and I love some glittery shadows on my lid. So I just really love this palette, and this goes with me everywhere I go, and I really recommend it to anyone. I seriously love this thing so much. And then, like I said, I have a slightly new addition to my collection. I guess it's really not that new. I've had it for like at least 2 weeks now, but it's the Too Faced Natural Love eyeshadow palette. I first was gonna buy this, then with all the kind of mixed reviews I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't buy it. I did end up getting it just because these shadows are so up my alley, and I know these are not the most pigmented shadows in the world, but I kind of love that about it. It makes it really easy to work with. But these shades are just all my alley, and I feel like you have a good range of dark to light and some shimmer shades, and so far I'm really quite loving this palette more than I thought I would, which is always nice. And then the last palette I have here is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill palette. I woke up at 1 a.m. to get this when I was back in Australia, and I'm happy I did. This palette is gorgeous. I feel like I'm wearing a lot of blush today. Okay, this palette is really pretty. I'm sure you guys have seen it all over the internet, so I'm not going to go into much depth with it. I don't use this one as often as I should, and as you would expect in an everyday makeup collection. But the thing with this one is a lot of these shades I've never worked with before, and it's kind of a palette that I feel less comfortable with. They're gorgeous shades, the pigmentation is gorgeous, but unlike the Tarte one, I feel a little bit less comfortable with this palette, which is kind of why I have it, or I try to use it more, because I want to get used to the shades, but it is phenomenal. So there's nothing wrong with these shadows, it's just that I still have to kind of get used to them. I don't really know why, I've never experienced that before, but I thought I would just mention that. But yeah, these are the ones I use like all the time, and this one I try to use as much as I can, but I never really picked this one up just because I don't feel as comfortable with it. And I kind of have two more palettes. I'll start with this eyeshadow one. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 eyeshadow palette. It has 8 shades in it. One which is a matte, but I think it's more of a kind of satiny shade, and then the other ones are metallic-y, foily shades. And the reason I have this, I mentioned this in the haul where I showed this, the reason I have this is not because it's a good all-around palette, but it's because I love a shimmery shade on my eyelids, and I feel like with this, having those 7 options means that no matter what eyeshadow palette or eyeshadow look I'm creating, something in here will match. So that's the reason I have this in here. And then I also have my Anastasia, whatever you want to say, Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Sun Dipped, and these are some gorgeous highlighters. These two are my favorites. This is a gorgeous eyeshadow shade. It's a little bit too dark for me, and then this one is also really gorgeous, but these are definitely a little bit more of your blinding highlighter, and I'm wearing it today, but it's always hard to tell on camera. As for the rest of my makeup, I'm just going to start with a more boring, I guess, face makeup. First of all, I have a foundation. I pretty much never wear foundation. I don't know why, I just don't. I never have been the biggest fan of foundation. I've just never really worn it a lot, but I have one in here just in case. I do want to wear one, and I thought I would just show you guys one as well. This is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation with Comfort Serum in the shade 201 Classic Beige. That is a mouthful. I'm not going to really tell you guys much about this foundation just because I never wear foundation, and I'm not really an expert or don't really know much about it or have much of an opinion, but this is the one I do have if I want to use it. And then I have this Maybelline New York Dream Brightening Creamy Concealer in 20 Light. This is not the most pigmented concealer, but it's just really creamy and it really brightens the under eye, and that's honestly enough for me. But if you're a person who wants full coverage, like everything to be swept away, this is definitely not the concealer for you, but I just really like this for an everyday look. And then my powder has no lid because it broke, but this is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder in number 3 Peach Glow. Sometimes I normally try to get translucent. When they don't have it, I'll just get this one. But yeah, it's just a really good drugstore powder. So yeah, this is a really random little thing, but I have this little Ted Baker compact mirror in. I actually got this from my mom a couple of days ago, and it's this rose gold compact mirror that I just like to use. I used it today when filming. It was really actually convenient. And then I have some more products. I have a mascara. I used to always wear mascara. I never wear mascara anymore, which I know can look really weird, especially when I'm going for more of a dramatic makeup look. But I have dust allergies, and when I yawn, I cry. So those are two things that don't really work well with mascara. I find I'm always itching my eyes, or my eyes are always watery, and whenever I wear mascara, I'm always thinking about it, and I just feel a lot more comfortable not wearing it. But I have one here from Rimmel, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one. I just have it in there. And then I have two blushes. I have my Tarte 12-Hour Amazonian Clay blush in Captivating, and it's this gorgeous peachy color. It's definitely more of a summery spring color, so that kind of season just ended. But then I also have my NARS Orgasm in here, which I really love as well. A product that just very dramatically dropped is my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. This is kind of a more wearable highlighter in a way. I feel like personally it's just more of a kind of glowy highlighter as opposed to a really blinding highlighter, but I'm obsessed with this. And then lastly, I just have some lip products. I realized they're only Maybelline lip products. I swear I have other products as well. I have a bunch actually, but I think it's mainly because 3 of these are reasonably new and these are just the ones that I've been wearing, but right here in my cupboard I have so many other ones, but for some reason these are the ones that have ended up in my everyday makeup collection. I don't really know. But the first one I have is a Vivid Hot Lacquer in the shade 62 Charmer, and this is kind of more of a nudie wearable shade, but it's more of a glossy finish. And then I also have a Color Sensational lipstick in Totally Toffee 215, and this is a gorgeous nude shade that's also a little bit more on the glossy side. Like I feel like it's slightly sheeny. And then I have 2 of the matte lipsticks, which this packaging is literally to die for. Like, that's part of the reason I bought these, not gonna lie. But I have 2 shades. I have 987 Dusty Rose, which for me is a kind of everyday color. It's looking a little bit more pinky bright in camera, but it's just a kind of really wearable dusty kind of mauve shade. And then that's 987. This is 978, which is Burgundy Blush, which is the shade I'm wearing on my lips. I recently purchased this one, and it's just a really nice autumnal shade. So yeah, I promise I have other products as well. I also have like a Tarte lip paint, Tarte's lip paint that I wear all the time as well. And I have a couple other things, but these are the ones I've pretty recently purchased apart from this one. But these I've had not too long, and so I think that's the reason why they're kind of in here, but I do really love them. I realize this video is already incredibly long, so I'm gonna try and speed through these brushes as quickly as I can. They make a lot of noise. I have 2 face brushes. This is a Morphe M581, which is a small natural fiber brush, and this is what I use to set my under eye. And then I have this Nude by Nature finishing brush, which is just this huge fluffy brush which I use for setting the rest of my face. And then I have a Real Techniques buffing brush, which is what I use to buff out my concealer, since I don't wear foundation. And then I have this Nude by Nature. Is a part of a set. This is just an angled blush brush. I have this 8 Dwarfs highlighting brush, which I use for highlighter. And then I have a Morphe M310, which is a fan brush, which is what I use for highlighter sometimes as well. I also just realized my Tarte's lip paint was hiding in here. I have no idea what shade this is. It might be Desi, it might be Fab, it might be neither of those since it's like a mini one, but I told you I had one in there. And then I have some more brushes from the Nude by Nature set. I have a little fluffy brush. I have a little liner brush. You can't really tell very easily. I have a little pencil crease brush. I have a little flat eyeshadow brush, and then I have this brush which has a spoolie on one end and then an angled liner brush on the other end. I hopefully you guys can see that somewhat okay. And then I have 2 of the Essence blending brushes, which are just really big fluffy brushes. I have this other random little Colette Hayman smaller fluffy brush, and then I have just an Essence flat eyeshadow brush, which you can barely tell because it's like my skin color. And then I have a Real Techniques lip definer brush right here, and then an Essence eyeliner brush here. But yeah, that was all the stuff that I have. I'm sorry if I went really quickly. It's just I'm so aware that this video is going to be so incredibly long, so I'm just going to jump right into the application of the makeup, and I'll see you guys then. Okay, so to start out, I'm taking the Maybelline concealer and I'm just going to put it on underneath my eyes. Like I said in the intro, it's a pretty creamy concealer, and I'm just using my finger to blend it out because I find it's the easiest, and I find the texture kind of works best. Like I think if I use a brush, I personally don't think it looks as good. So I'm just using a concealer, or using my finger, sorry. And because it is such a creamy concealer, you have to set it straight away because it will crease, and my under eyes are really prone to creasing, so I just kind of set it straight away. And as you guys can see, you can still see kind of somewhat darkness underneath my eyes. Like you can still see the under eye circles. It's not fully pigmented, it doesn't fully hide everything, but it definitely does brighten up your face and make you look so much more awake, which I think is for me, the most important thing, and like I said in the intro, I don't really care all that much if you could see my under eyes, especially for an everyday look. This works perfectly fine for me, so I'm just using that Morphe brush and that Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. And then for the rest of my face, I'm actually using the same concealer. Now I know it's probably a little bit too pink toned, but honestly this works best for me. I know not everyone's going to agree with that, but I don't really always feel like wearing full-on foundation, and just wearing a little bit of this concealer on the areas that I want or I feel like I need it is just enough for me. So sometimes I'll just do it on my nose or just here or just there, and sometimes I'll use a lot of it, sometimes I'll use like barely anything. It really depends, but I'm taking that Real Techniques buffing brush, and I think that works really well. It's really quick and really easy, and it doesn't take very long at all. So I'm just making sure everything's buffed in, and then I'm just taking a big fluffy brush and a little bit of powder to set kind of the rest of my face. I definitely don't use as much as the under eye, and then I'll wipe away kind of the excess as well, just to make sure nothing's too cakey or anything. Then I'm taking the NARS Orgasm blush and I'm just putting it on my apples of my cheeks and then blending it outwards. I really overdid it on the blush. I feel like I normally never put this much blush on, but you know, just go with it. Like, it's not even too bad, but it's a little bit too much for me. And then I just kind of blend the excess off. And then I'm taking the shade Summer from the Anastasia Glow Kit, and I'm just using that fan brush from Morphe and just putting that on my cheekbones, and I really like this one. I just build it up a little bit, and I did put it on my other cheekbone, I just didn't film it, and then just down the center of my face, and I put a little bit extra with my finger on my cupid's bow, just to make it a little bit more extra blinding. Then I'm taking that concealer and just using my finger and using it kind of as an eye base. It kind of gets rid of some of the darkness and kind of evens out my skin tone on my lids, and it makes a really nice base, and then I just set it with some powder as well. Now I'm taking my Tarte Pro and I'm just taking that lightest shade. I actually don't know what it's called right now, sorry. But it's a bottom left hand corner, and I'm just using that as my transition shade. Now before we get any further, I just want to quickly say, please focus on my right eye, which is on the left of the screen, not the eye I'm doing right now, because especially when the second shade comes, I find my eyeshadow never works well on my left eye. So just look at the eye I'm doing now. Like, I feel like that's how I want the look to look, but sometimes my other eye just messes up and doesn't look great at all, so just bear that in mind when you see the eyeshadow on my other eye. But I'm just taking a deeper color, I think it's called Edgy. I'm mainly focusing on the outside of my crease and then just blending it inwards, and then I took a little bit extra of that color just on the outer half of my lid just to deepen that up even more. Then taking that golden shade called Compass, I'm just putting that on my lid with my finger, and then I'm using a clean finger to kind of blend out a little bit more just to make it more glittery as opposed to metallic-y. And then I'm taking that top left shade, which is kind of like a yellowy toned pale color, and just using that under on my brow bone, and then as well as a little bit on the inner corner for a little bit of a subtle highlight. And then I'm taking that original first transition shade color that we used, so that bottom left hand corner color, and putting that all underneath on the bottom lash line. And I'm also using that shade just to fill in my brows a little bit. I'm not for brows. My brows aren't great. I have to get them done soon. But I just use it a little bit just to kind of have a little something there, but I definitely don't do anything crazy, and I just use this eyeshadow. And then I'm using that dark berry lipstick from Maybelline, and I just decided to use a brush first because I felt like with such a deep color it's best to do a blush, and the camera actually cut off, so you missed half of me putting my lipstick on. But yeah, that was it for the makeup. Pretty simple, pretty easy, and we're done now, I guess. So that was it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was really long and really fast paced, but I wanted to just kind of combine the two videos. If there's any other videos you guys want to see from me makeup related, please let me know down below. And yeah, that was it for this week's video. Give it a big or small thumbs up if you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Comment down below any other videos you'd like to see. Subscribe if you're new around here, you want to see more on my face, and I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye! So to subscribe to my channel, hit the little face right on the top right hand side of the screen, and my last sit down video, which was my vlog makeover video of my room, click the top left hand corner, and then the bottom left hand corner is my recent plan with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in one of those videos. Bye!